By now, all of you have read the article from the Atlantic website about Donald Trump wanting generals like Adolf Hitler had. I had to think about it and do my research for this video, and it's going to be a long one, but I think it was well worth it considering the circumstances. Donald Trump says he wants generals like Adolf Hitler had. So let's look at those generals for a few moments. And I've only selected 6, but they're the worst of the worst and the baddest of the bad. Let's look at Hermann Göring, the Reichsmarshal, the number 2 man in Hitler's Germany, 16th president of the Reichstag, and the chief of the Luftwaffe High Command, the Luftwaffe obviously being the Nazi Air Force. He was charged, tried, and convicted at Nuremberg for crimes against humanity and war crimes. He was sentenced to death by hanging, but he killed himself before his execution. Is that the kind of general you want, Trump? Well, how about Alfred Jodl, former commander of the operations staff of the OKW, German Armed Forces High Command? He was indicted of charges of conspiracy to commit crimes against peace, planning and initiating and waging wars of aggression, war crimes, and crimes against humanity at Nuremberg. He was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to death by hanging in 1946. Is that the kind of general you were talking about, wanting Donald Trump? How about Anton Doster? After the Axis defeat, he was executed for war crimes, specifically the execution of 15 American POWs during the Italian campaign in March of 1944. Is that the kind of general you want, Trump? How about Wilhelm Keitel, chief of the Wurtreich High Command? He was also found guilty on all 4 counts of the indictment in Nuremberg, in which he was sentenced to death. How about Ernst Kellenbrand, a member of the SS, Nazi state security, director of the Reich Security Main Office, and director of the Schützendienst, the SD. This guy is a real winner for you, isn't it, Trump? This guy is a dedicated and committed anti-Semite. He played a pivotal role in orchestrating the Nazi Holocaust and genocide, intensifying under his leadership. Oversaw the coordination of security and law enforcement agencies involved in widespread extermination and the suppression of resistance movements in occupied territories, extensive arrests, deportations, and executions. Trump, doesn't that sound a little bit familiar to what you're trying to propose in this country if you become president? I'm sure you would want a general like this. Now, obviously, he was found guilty at Nuremberg for war crimes and crimes against humanity and was sentenced to death by hanging. But what about this guy, Emil Rommel, former commander of the 7th Panzer Division and German African Corps? In 1944, he was implicated in the July 20th plot to kill Adolf Hitler himself. But when that plot failed, he killed himself instead. So these are the people, the military officers you want as your generals because of your statement. Trump, enough is enough with you. But since you wanted to go down this rabbit hole, let's talk about some generals that actually did some good on our side that you didn't name or wouldn't even support. Starting with Fleet Admiral William Bull Halsey, one of only 4 officers in the U.S. Navy to make 5-star admiral. During his service in World War II, he served during the Guadalcanal and Solomon Island campaigns and took place in the Battle of Leyte Gulf, one of the biggest naval battles at that time. Why wouldn't you want an admiral like that or a general flag officer like that? How about someone like Omar N. Bradley, General of the Army, 5-star general? In his time during World War II, he was commander of the 12th Army Group during the invasion of Europe. Why wouldn't you want him? And speaking of Europe, why not Dwight D. Eisenhower, General of the Army, Supreme Allied Commander of European Expeditionary Forces, not to mention the former President of the United States. But since I'm in a pissed off mood and I love to piss everybody in the MAGA off because you're a bunch of racist pricks, especially you, Trump, I figured I'd mention this man, Benjamin O. Davis Sr., the first Afro-American man in the United States Army to make a general rank, in this particular case, 1-star brigadier general, former commander of the 4th Cavalry Brigade and the 2nd Cavalry Divisions. So, with all that history of our service, of American service in World War II, you choose the Nazis over our people? You choose the Nazi generals over American generals? You choose people like one of them I just mentioned, who took place in engineering the Holocaust, over people, general officers who led men into combat, to stop that shit from happening? I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Donald Trump is a fucking Nazi. He showed himself to be. He's a wannabe Adolf Hitler, and he has shown that as well. At this point, there is no argument in this moment. Donald Trump wants to be Adolf Hitler. He wants to turn America into Nazi Germany because he wants absolute, total power. Look at the fate at the Nazi generals I just listed here. All of them are dead. 5 of them were executed for war crimes, and 1 of them killed himself after being implicated to assassinate Adolf Hitler. Is that what you're trying to be, Trump? You're trying to drag our troops, our general officers, to be like them? To become war criminals? To be executed? If that's your suicidal plan, I want no part of it. And that's another reason why I'm voting against Donald Trump, and you should too. Because one of the generals I described here for Nazi Germany, for Adolf Hitler, was responsible for helping to plan the Jewish Holocaust, or in their words, the final solution to the Jewish question, which resulted in millions of lives being lost. Don't let it happen here. Vote against Donald Trump in this election. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.